Happy day, everybody. Welcome back to Sure by Dabbles. I am your host, Sure by, and this is my Hobonichi Cousin. If you have not been here before, I'm going to do a flip through. It does get a little chatty because I like to reminisce with all the people out there, and I also like to drop in some ideas, some ways I may have done things. I like to suggest stuff. You know, it's kind of like a let's meet with friends, but we don't have to really talk to each other sort of thing. You get to just listen and do whatever you want. You could even ignore me, and I'm totally fine with it. So let's get started in this, shall we? I do have some delicious tea. This is a tea chino. This is a dark cocoa or dark chocolate tea. It smells absolutely amazing. It's caffeine free. It has like a coffee quality that I also like because I love having coffee. And now I just want to make sure, all right, I wanted to make sure that when I open this up, you'd be cool. So this is my cover. My stickers are coming up. It's unfortunate. This one has gotten rubbed on. I did keep it in a leather case, but it was getting, I don't know, it added a lot of weight. The leather case was just kind of heavy. I have some fabric tape here, the threads of which will pull off often, and then I cut them. So I'm trimming my planner, which is kind of funny. And let's go through. Let's start. This is my opening page. This is a little scrapbooky envelope where I keep yoga stickers because I still have a dream. I have a dream that I'll do yoga. I found this from an old cigarette case back in the day when I used to smoke. And that was from, 2000 something, I think. So I had that a long time prior to 2003, maybe even 2003. I can't remember how long ago, but I've had it for a really long time. Just put some random. It's just random. It's not gorgeous. It's not pretty. I do what I want in my book, and I am happy to share it. On my year at a glance, I mark days that I have off. I also mark the days that I have my son. I do 50-50 with my ex-husband for the time with my kiddo. In my year at a glance, the orange are days that I have exercised. And typically, if I have not worked out in a while, I'll kind of write somewhere where I can fit it why. So this is like a mystery rotten illness in June. I also put a lot of appointments in here. Sometimes I will go back and write what I did in the dailies in this section. I kind of dropped the habit of writing appointments as we got through the year. We will be doing August in this flip through. It looks like I had a migraine that month. And I started writing some notes about writing because I fell off using the dailies every day. So when we get to the dailies, I'll show you what I ended up doing there. In the monthlies, I use these as the calendar for the year. So, not the year, sorry. I just use it for a calendar for that month. What the schedule is, what the plans are, what I'm going to do. I typically will decorate in the corner. And lately, my son has been like, can I just stay here because my friends are here or my PlayStation is here? And I will mark the days that I get because it makes me crazy. And I wanted to show him that I'm not getting all my days and mom's getting upset because I miss my dude. So that's what this tracker is here. I love these stickers. I really love these women's stickers. I do wish there was more diversity in that sticker pack. Gotta be honest. I had a lot of gigs this month, it looks like. So that's pretty cool. This was Gettysburg Rocks. Gettysburg Rocks happens in Pennsylvania, in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The Four Diamonds organization is an organization that financially helps kids with cancer and their families. A lot of people, can't work during that time, or the bills are just so enormous. They need food, they need hotels, they need help. And almost all of the people that help with Gettysburg Rocks are volunteers, including the musicians. All the musicians play for free. And we try to get as many donations as possible. They did reach the $300,000 mark in the 11 years that they've been doing it. I think the only people that get paid are the sound guys, unless they're volunteers. Many of those volunteers, including some of the musicians, are Four Diamonds families who benefited from the Gettysburg Rocks series. Dozens of venues participate, hundreds of musicians participate, and I am very pleased that Sure by Trio, my band, is able to do it as well. And it happens twice a year, and ever since we were a band, we've been doing it both times, so that's pretty awesome. At the end of the monthlies, I added some washi on one of the extra month pages. I believe they went up to March. And now we will flip right on over to the weeklies. I think a lot of people kind of like my weeklies. I'm not neat. I'm not terribly fancy or color coordinated. But as the year goes on, I like to try, you know. So this is the start of August. Sometimes when I'm just really busy and I can't get to it, I just write in pen and then I go back with color. Previous weeks, you can see I did that all pen and went back with color. And then it all depends on how my week is going, how my weeklies will turn out. I particularly like this one. So let's see what we got here. I love reminiscing. This is really kind of fun. So here's one of those ladies. I kind of like trying to put the stickers down that I'm kind of in the mood for that day or that week. I will often randomly put pictures on pages. So this is one of those spreads I can tell from how wackadoodle all the stickers are, where I just was feeling careless and reckless and daring, and I just did a couple pages ahead and put random stickers that don't match to just throw them out on here and work around them. I do that quite often, actually. So I did 2 Olivia Lawson workouts. I must have been feeling quite pep that day. Olivia Lawson is, she's great. They're really cool, especially if you're, you know, over 40. Really nice, low impact, but still hard workouts. I like them. We planned a trip to Frederick that afternoon when we went out together, me and my partner Phil. I call him Love, so that's usually a heart with an S. And then I got my son. Let's see, do we have anything exciting here? Discovered lactose-free Greek yogurt. Absolutely loving it. And what else? Anything exciting? My sister had to go back into the hospital, which that kind of blows, but she did sound better after she was done with that. And I finished the Song Rising book series, not book series, it's the one of the books in the Bone Season series, and breakfast. What I do in my weeklies is I record what I have done rather than what I have to do. And this makes me more able to consistently use my planner. And also it makes me feel successful because I have definitely already done everything that's in here. And if you need to give yourself a little pep talk, this is the pep talk for you. Do it this way. Over here, I track my exercise, my fiber, and my protein. Up at the top, you can also see numbers that say F and P. That is tracking fiber and protein. I started doing this when I was telling a friend that I was going to start counting calories again. She told me about how she is tracking her fiber and protein and was losing weight that way. And to me, that made total sense. If you prioritize the fiber and protein, you have no choice but to eat the things that are good for you anyway. And also you're guaranteeing that you're getting full on the good things. So I have totally enjoyed doing that. It definitely made me feel more energetic and better about myself. I'm much worse at it over the weekends. So that's what I track here. I just write what I'm tracking and in the squares put Monday through Sunday. I always have coffee basically at the top. Coffee, work, chia pudding for breakfast, my workouts. For lunch, I had black beans in a tuna bowl. I watched some Vera over lunch while eating that. Then we made chicken white bean soup in the crock pot. I had to go to my son's football meeting. Wow, this is all the way back when he started football, and we watched some Smallville, which I never watched that series. I don't know if there's anything fun here. I just love the stickers. I love the color. I love keeping it kind of crazy and messy, and this is more messy than most. I think that I don't know what was going on. Sometimes it's just like that, you know? Yeah, some days it's just like that. So I try to log where we go out with our friends and who I see that day and what TV shows I watch before bed. That's when I watch TV the most, over lunch or before bed. And I try to track my workouts. I just like to know exactly what I did. Sometimes I go back and look, actually. You know, I'll say, wait, you know, on this day I did this, so let me go back and see when that happened. And it's kind of fun to have. Let's see, we watched some 2020. Oh, and I finished reading All the Boys I've Loved Before. That was also a really fun reading series. I did a tarot reading for my friend's daughter. She was really needing one, and it's nice to do that for people. It helps them feel good. And this is when my son and I went on our own overnight trip, just me and him. at Blackmo Shannon State Park. We also toured around State College. He's 16. Well, he was 15 at the time of this, but it was really, really cool to do that with him. And I left some notes about what we did around town there. I had a good time. The cabin we stayed in was adorable. When I'm in my editing, I want to put in a couple pictures here so you can see it. Great fire pit. There were supposed to be bears in the area, so we just kept cracking jokes about bears. We weren't going to go wandering in the woods too far. Played catch up in my Hobonichi. I'm going to guess that that is something in the daily pages. This month was kind of terrible about sticking with the daily pages, and I believe that started in July. I think I just got busier in the afternoons and driving back and forth to get my son and doing workouts over lunch instead of working in my planner. All of those things can just really add up, you know. Talked to my friend Michelle that evening. I did a little phone doodle. PTO so I can get shit done. Isn't that terrible that sometimes you have to take days off of work just so you can get things done in your life? It does bum me out that we have to work to live. It really does. So went to go see a new doctor of mine, which I really am pleased to be seeing him. Makes me feel really good. This might have been even one of my first appointments. On these days, I typically will try to get into the office. We're supposed to get into the office. Did a lot of work. I read at lunch. I did a lot more work. Keeping in touch with people as much as I can. Did a workout when I got home. And then we had practice, and one of our friends joined us for practice because he was actually going to play Gettysburg Rocks with us instead of our mandolin player. And so we had to all work together for that. And it sounded cool. It was really great. Here you'll see, this is going to come up in the dailies. I was tracking the vitamins and supplements that I had to start taking after seeing this doctor. And I end up switching this to dailies. I didn't like having it messed in here. I just didn't. Finished reading Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. That was a good book. I like all of Lisa Jewell's books. And I said, I don't like when I can't load YouTube on my laptop. Finding it difficult to focus on work. I'm tired. I did another workout, so I still just kept going. Added 49 PAI. My Amazfit watch tracks PAI. It's like a measurement performance. Did some doodling. Little Minnie on the patio with loves and listening to Praxi. And what else do we have? I was missing Kiddo this week. I think I saw that long gap over in my monthly. So I think he was staying at his dad's for probably his football schedule, starting football. He had some practices are at 6 a.m, and I live further away from school, so he would have gotten a little bit less sleep. And I can understand a teenager wanting to prioritize that. So then this is the weekend that me and my partner went to Frederick, Maryland. And we booked the wrong hotel. It was not the hotel that we intended to do. So that was interesting. We wanted to look for crabs. We wanted to look for oysters. And the place that we went to go get oysters, or crabs, sorry, they were terrible. They were terrible. We actually loved them a couple years ago, but this time it was awful. We were there probably an hour before they said, it's going to be a lot longer before we can serve you. And it was such a bizarre experience. So we just left, and we decided to drive to another area. We went to Harper's Ferry, and we will not do that again, it says here. And then we decided to stay at the hotel we did like at Harper's Ferry. And we went to Harper's Ferry Brewing and saw some live music. We met a new musician there. It was really great. I like networking with other musicians. And looks like we got into an argument that evening. How fun. Glad I record all those happy moments. And then that's it. Reading I Still Love You by Jenny Han, a really sweet series. I would love it if my son read those books. And it's funny doing these flip throughs months later. It is November now, and this is August. I think I prefer doing it in the moment, you know, and I started adding more to my channel, like, you know, the planner comparisons being that we're all prepping for next year. I've just had a lot more that I could share, but I definitely think I like sharing these when it is actually more in that time frame. I don't know why. Like, I love also going back and going over the memories, but I also worry that I go too slow through them. And I don't know. it's like you're just gonna join me to go through my memories, and I don't know how you feel about it, but you can always fast forward if I'm taking too long. So when we left the Harper's Ferry, we went to Chicks for Crabs. It's Chicks Crab House, I believe it's called, in Hagerstown, Maryland. They were amazing. We had delicious crabs, great service, lovely people, and it was empty during lunch on a Monday, and they were open, and we could not have been happier. And then we drove through Antietam. Phil is a big history buff, and it's really cool driving through there and seeing the battlefields and stuff. And then we met our friends at one of the breweries in the area. And my son wanted to watch Blowout, a 1981 movie with John Travolta. And it's about a guy who is like an audio specialist in film. And we didn't watch the whole thing, but it was basically exposing a cover up in which somebody had died, and it was all down to his audio recordings. It was fun. So there's a full moon here. Is that related to the migraine that I ended up having? Who knows? Who knows? I get migraines just from being tense or not getting enough sleep. So I sat with my dude in the living room while I did some work because I really like being able to hang out with him. And apparently he didn't have school this day. He may have been sick. But we had some tacos and watched Supernatural for lunch. Oh, he must have not had school that day. Oh, it was August. Oh my gosh, it was still summer. That's so funny. And then it brought him to his football practice. So I did a workout. My nephew came over and I put some twists in his hair. I didn't do them that well. I'm much better with cornrows and braids, and doing the twists, I just couldn't get them tight enough. So I believe that he and my sister asked a neighbor to do them the next time. It was really fun having that. And we got terrible, terrible Chinese food. Ugh, but I think that was the last time I did my nephew's hair. I gotta call him. I was very tired and started getting the migraine, and I tried some sumatriptan after I had already tried ibuprofen. Nothing worked. So I did another sumatriptan and it still didn't work. And so then I was just like, okay, I feel terrible. And I still had to drive out in the dark and pick up my son. And I had it for these 2 days. And then I wrote to my new doctor, and he told me to come in for an infusion and gave me a new triptan prescription for the migraine. I got some Excedrin migraine, and that worked like within 15 minutes. I was really stunned. So now that's what I try first, is the Excedrin. I don't know, maybe it's the caffeine that's in Excedrin, but I was stunned. Also, the IV infusion, the days after this, like the whole week after that, I had great energy. It was really fabulous. I kind of want to do it regularly, but it's $160 every time, and I don't want to do that part regularly. You know what I'm saying? So I started doing some tracking and notes in dailies, and that's going to be fun to go over because that was totally new for me. And I really liked doing that, and that is how I got turned on to the idea of having a health planner. And you can see the planner that I purchased for the health planner. I'll put a link here. It is a Paper Tess weeks size. I think it's just called Paper Tess Weeks. And the layout is awesome. It's really cool. And I got some ideas for a health planner from Dandelion Diaries. If you want to go check hers out. Really good ideas, a lot of great things to keep track of and to write down, and having something small like that to carry around. I'm pretty excited for it. So these are the gig days for Sure by Trio and Gettysburg Rocks. And we had 2 gigs in one day. And one of them was at this new place called Thirsty Farmer, a brewery down in Gettysburg. And what a great place. The crowd was amazing. They were really fabulous. So this is closer in line to how my weeks usually are. I must have been in a funk for a lot of August. This is a lot closer to what they're like. I love this asparagus sticker. I like the mushroom. This is one of the very first sticker packs I ever purchased. Really, really fun stickers. I like just plopping them around in here, you know. And it looks like I did, a lot of work on newsletters that I do at work. And I went to one of my son's games. They won his football game. I did a workout with Ellie Wong. I I think I only did one of her workouts once. I really started sticking with Olivia Lawson. And this one where it says kicked my ass, Tabata with Olivia Lawson, I remember that like it was yesterday. My goodness. And this woman, I still want to leave her a comment about this. There is a story by E.T.A. Hoffman called The Sandman. And it is about like a 16-year-old neighbor named Olivia, and this gentleman who just gets enraptured by her. And every time he talks to her, she just says, ooh, 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 and he falls in love with her. And it turns out that she's a robot. But he, his ego was getting fed so much by her just paying attention to all of his stories and whatever he had to say, and her and responding with ooh, ooh, ooh. And whenever I watched this Tabata video, not just watched it, but was getting my ass thoroughly kicked, I couldn't help but think of Olivia, the automaton, watching Olivia Lawson, because her face, she just keeps this pleasant expression on her face. Like, she doesn't even look like she's out of breath. She doesn't, I open my mouth when I'm working out. I need to breathe. So I keep my mouth open, and sometimes it even gets dry. It's like ridiculous. I do not look great when I'm working out. And I used to do boxing with a heavy bag, and I was taught in boxing, exhale a lot. So I also exhale a lot with pursed lips. And I look very goofy, She just looked like she was sitting there watching just some pleasant soap opera or something. I don't know. Like, she didn't look like she was breaking a sweat. It was insanity. And I wanted to just kind of mention that she looked like, is she an automaton, the way that she was just not showing any exertion. It was insane, just insane. And yeah, I'm so impressed by that. I would never be able to do that. And then we went to Barnes and Noble. I think this is when I bought my new Uniball 1P pen. So great. I will put an image of a pen up here and a link in the description. Future Kristen, please remember that. It's a great pen, and I believe I'm writing with it here. It's nice and dark. It's great. So I still haven't fully maybe trusted my dailies to keep track of these things, because I do know that in my dailies by now, I'm pretty sure I have the list in there. We're going to find out very soon. And let's see. Oshin focusing on laptop. I wonder what that means. I don't know what that means. Oh, I think that just means that's how he spent his time when he was hanging out with me. I worked later than usual this day. And then Mark, our bandmate, came over to listen to our gigs from the previous weekend. So tired. I really am tired. I do remember, though, that my energy started getting better. So I don't know, maybe it was only a couple days, or maybe it was actually further along than I realized. Starting to try to stretch. And I started The Book Thief. I had already read it before, but my son needed to read it for a project. And I was like, if I read it with you, maybe it will inspire you. Spoiler alert, it did not inspire him. Coffee, late breakfast with meds, plan our catch-up, plan the workday, and computer updates. Why isn't it Friday? I can tell that this month, I was not doing well this month. Planning for my PTO Tuesday. I did an Alani Fit 30-minute standing workout. No happy hour. I decided to stay home with my kiddo when other people, and then our bandmate came over. And we decided to turn one of our gig songs into a video on YouTube. I do Morgan Wade's The Night. And so I put that on our Share by Trio YouTube page. Links here if you want to go check it out. And then my son and I started watching Dexter. And we did not stop watching Dexter until we watched all of them. So when you come back later, you're going to know all about it. I had watched the first 3 seasons of Dexter. And fortunately, when he started watching it with me, he was already into season 3. I did not love season 3. I'm just going to say I didn't. But after that, it definitely got better. I had some frustrating moments at work, apparently. And then on the very last day, we had breakfast at the Hamilton, one of our new places to have breakfast on Saturdays. And I helped Phil to pack his car. His other band had a gig at a winery down the street, and I stayed home with my son. I did do yoga that day. I really wish yoga were something I could do every day. I don't know why it's not. I know it would be just so, so good for me. Just so, so good. I was looking for some shoes for my workouts because I work out in bare feet, but I did not find any that seemed pleasant enough. And then my son started a fantasy football league, and he called my sister and my sister's boyfriend and my nephew. And it was really cool just to see him interacting and talking and planning and, collaborating with my sister and her family. It really made me feel good. It was really, really fun to watch. And then after 3 more hours of work, I guess I worked over the weekend, I had a lot of stuff to do. Oh no, that's what this is. 3 hours of work. I got the 5-year techo. I got this from Hobonichi. This was the Hobonichi launch, and I was online for at least 3 hours. And after 3 hours, I ordered it from Japan's Amazon. But then I eventually the next day was able to get it from the Hobonichi store. You can see my whole Hobonichi unboxing and haul in the Hobonichi 2025 video, which I will also link here for you. And then we get into the 1st of September. So I will not spoil that except to show you what the next weeks, quickly were like. And now let's get to the dailies. I'm excited to see how these dailies had changed since I last did a flip through, because I had to change a lot. I had to change a lot in how I did things. If you go to July, you'll see that I started adding journaling, covering up the date, because these were all blank. For almost the entire month of July, I just did not have time to do dailies. Typically, they would be all sorts of stuff, writing prompts, watercolor, swatching, like all sorts of different things. But during July, summer, maybe it's just summer. Maybe summer sucks for me and I can't get a lot done in the summer. So during August, I also had a lot of blank pages, and I went ahead and I did some decorating to the pages, unsure of how I was going to eventually use them. On this facing page before dailies, this is my catch-all for the month. This is where big things are logged. I typically log how many subscribers I had, but I clearly forgot to do that this time. So this is my chia seed recipe. I would do a 1/4 cup of chia, a 1/2 cup of oats, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract, and some cinnamon. And I also add, something's missing from here. Oh, yeah, almond milk or some sort of dairy milk that you want to add so that it all soaks in and gets absolutely delicious. So it's really tasty. It's very good for you. High in protein and fiber. You are welcome to steal that recipe. I watched a horror movie with Phil, and it was terrible. We have never watched a horror movie together, and the one that we chose was terrible. Actually, cinematically, it was really pretty. And I was pleased to see that a lot of people on IMDb agreed with me. It was called The Haunting of the Queen Mary, but the storyline was choppy. The story itself would have been great if it didn't take the entire movie to figure out what the heck was happening. I prefer that they give you some clues, and I'm typically very good at figuring movies out. This one, not so much. It was fascinating. I says I was part of the Hobonichi release and was super so excited I could get the 5-year gift techo set. Still am excited. I'm thrilled to also see how I'm going to end up using it. Gettysburg Rocks gigs, Thirsty Farmer, awesome, and with Kevin at the Lincoln Social, Mark sat out. Me and O'Sheen went on a trip. Pot pie, Southpaw, s'mores, Penn State, guitars, a fire, no bears. Had a 3 to 4 day migraine, got new meds to try, and my first Myers infusion, my son's first football game. During that month, I did 18 workout sessions, all equaled to about 11 hours worth of working out and over 4,300 calories burned. Perhaps the 18 workout sessions explain some of my tiredness. Maryland trip with loves to Frederick, wrong hotel, went to Harper's Ferry, cool skirt and overalls, and found Chick's Crabs. I did get some really cool overalls, and I played a gig in them even, so that was fun. So this is really cool. I'm really excited to go through these daily pages. This is a list I got from Linda Loves Creating on YouTube of ways to use blank pages. They are a monthly collage in ephemera in a grid design. I don't know what in a grid design means. I would have to go back and watch her video. Seasonal bucket lists or currently ing lists. I think that would kind of fall into this sort of category. Current favorites list, photos, collage, mood board, swatches with washi pens, paints, etc., which I did in my monthly. You saw the washi swatches, and you've seen very quickly some of my other swatches. Prompts, and we know that one because I did a lot of writing prompts in my dailies. Lists and collections, that seems like a duh to me. Monthly recap, I have it right here. Quotes, lettering practice. You can use your pages just to practice stuff too. Year so far check-in and a month so far check-in. Ideas and project breakdowns. All the first lines of all the books you've read. I said yes, and I did do that. Whether or not it fell on an August page, I'm unsure, but I believe it did. So already I used a blank page. Yes, here it is, the 2025 first lines, paper books only. So I listened to books on audiobook, and I feel it would be complicated to remember and write down the first line in an audiobook. So these are all the paper books that I have read. I separate them with a dot, like a bullet, and I write the first word, the first line, and then in brackets, I put the name of the book. So Varga is 13, The Immortalists. You'll find out the hard way. People who lived in Africa told me when they heard of my assignment, mercy. And then I was really kind of put out when some of the intros were so long, like Joy in the Morning by P.G. Wodehouse. After the thing was all over, when peril had ceased to loom and happy endings had been distributed in heaping handfuls, and we were driving home with our hats on the side of our heads, having shaken the dust of Steeple Bumpley from our tires, I confessed to Jeeves that there had been moments during the recent proceedings when Bertram Wooster, though no weakling, had come very near to despair. Joy in the Morning. I didn't want to write that all out, and yet there I was. And then the next book I read, To Have and to Hoax, also had a long first line. That To Have and to Hoax, by the way. Super adorable. Her name is Martha Waters. Feel free to go read that. I really enjoyed it. So this page was already set up before I determined I would use it for first lines. So I already had the quotations up here. I already had the tape down here. This dude. I had it all set up already. And it just happened to work out well. Now it would be perfect if I could fill this up and read just enough books to fill that. We'll see how it goes. This page is some doodling and sketching. It says thunder. It must have been, I think I remember this night. Thunder, lightning. I think my son was sick. And I remember being on the couch, and I didn't want to go to bed while it was like this. September 21st. Yeah, that's when I did this. There's a telephone, just funny faces I do, and little doodling stuff all around. Another dude, a plant. Yeah, just doodling with a pen. I enjoy this. I like this. I like how that is. My partner and I, on September 22nd, watched a movie called Save Yourselves. It was hysterical. It was a great movie. And there is one line that he says to her, the husband says, no, boyfriend? I think the boyfriend says to the girlfriend, you don't have to be responsible for every moment. And I thought that was a great line. So I wrote it in the book. And again, this decoration was already on my pages. Any pages that were blank in August, I just went ahead and decorated without knowing what I was going to do with the page. So let's see what else we got. Plotting your novel. I took these ideas from masterclass.com. This is an article they had online. And so it's 1 through 10 with things to plot your novel. And then I wrote the details here and highlighted on the numbers. If I had not mentioned I am a writer, I do have a book on Amazon actually, and I would love in 2025 to actually write a sequel to that book, if not another book in general. I was always a little bit better and more practiced at short stories, but the more I read comforting books, the more I get out of all of my college snobby read pure literature stuff, the more I feel okay with just writing stories and not getting caught up in it having to be a certain way. And the book that I did write 13 years ago that's on Amazon, it's called Knit Witch. I was really proud of myself for letting go of those ideas and just writing a book, because I think When you are like me and have been writing since you were really, really young, and people in high school are like, oh, the writer, oh, the writer, you know, there's this big sense of, I don't know, expectation or whatever. And I hated it. I really hated it. And to know that there are people out there who are writing some of the best cozy reads ever, and they're not highfalutin crap that is exhausting to read. I will definitely choose books based on my mood and my ability to stay with it. You know what? I didn't turn my light on. I'm going to do that right now. So, surprise and sorry. So, anyways, I don't know why those sorts of thoughts stick around, why they're there to begin with, but I am very glad that I'm not holding on to them. And I just want to write some good, easy, fun books. And I mean, I appreciate them. I love them. I want them. So I'm just going to write what I want to write, and it's going to be fun. And I have definitely enjoyed writing prompts. And maybe the big thing, honestly, is that if you're a good writer, it doesn't matter. You don't need to be defining what it is you're writing. You're just writing. And that should speak for itself. So I should really just turn off all of that blather I just said and shut up and just do it because I want to do it. So I have goals for 2022. I also have this B6 paper test designs planner that I'm going to use for 2025 as a writing planner. We'll get to that. If you want to see it and you're interested, please go look. These are notes from Rachel Moore's YouTube channel, How to Make a Scene Book. I honestly had never heard of a scene book. I never took a writing class. I audited a memoir writing class, and that's the extent of my writing classes. So these sorts of things are real helpful for me when I wrote my book, which I just flew off the seat of my pants and wrote a story. I am definitely what I guess they call a pantser. Fly by the seat of your pants versus a plotter and plotting out a story. I can't imagine me plotting a story. I mean, have you seen my notebook in my life? It's not going to happen. So I have those notes here. Again, pre-decorated. I think it looks really fun. This is a journaling page written on September 22nd. And I think I am just talking about using a planner with pre-filled goals. Using a weeks for health planning. So this was my sketching ideas out for having a health planner, and I got many ideas from my Dandelion Diary, and I did order a Sterling Ink N2 compact, and then I decided that's going to be my everyday carry and got the Paper Test Designs Weeks to use as a health planner. I do like thriller stories, and I thought maybe it'd be fun to write a thriller. So I wrote down 5 thriller writing prompts, again, for masterclass. And here is from Abby Emmons, The Simplest Way to Outline Your Novel, pantser friendly, who, what, how, why, with some notes. And this is how to do a scene book, some of the things you could do in a scene book to help you along. The underneath is blank there. More health planner notes. I love that I have the elephant on here leaning over some books. It's awesome. It's awesome. I like monthlies to log a win, but that's also great for the cousin. So I'm like working out how to use different planners. Goal to add for joy, listen to and find new music. So I have to remember to revisit these when I'm finally in December. A lot of these books have December spreads, and you can start going into them then. And I'm really excited to go over these notes and really plan it out and see how I'm going to use it. Elements of the 3-act structure, again, more notes. By the way, all of these notes in this dark, lovely dark black here is from that Uniball P1 pen. I just love how thick and dark it is. I think it's fabulous. A huge list of everything I want to plan and track. I try to put everything in there that I could possibly want to track. Creative book, watercolor, gouache, collage, art journaling. I think that's what the cousin is going to be for me next year. A plot embryo inside my novel. This is from Rachel Stevens, inside my novel bullet journal. And then I went to Google to find this. So this page was blank except for plot embryo and her information there. And then I actually just Googled it and tried to write it based off of Google. Plotting a short story with the 5 steps and the tragic embryo, like if you're writing a story about tragedy. Again, Rachel Stevens. And let's see what else we have. These are pictures of my son. This is when we went to the Penn State campus creamery and the Black Moshannon State Park trip. He turned 16 in September, and I got him a new guitar, an acoustic guitar. And this is him when he was, gosh, how old is he in here? 7 years old, 6 years old. I wrote it right there. Hello. And this was my very first guitar. Someone gifted it to me when I was 27, and I did not learn to play guitar until COVID. So I was 44, 43 years old. 43, maybe 42 even. No, 43. And I started playing on this guitar, and after 3 months of using it, it basically fell apart. And then when I got a little more serious about it, my son was starting to get a little more serious, and he can actually play a couple things now. So I'm thrilled. I bought him the Yamaha FG 830. Really proud of my kiddo. So Myers-Briggs model for writing. This is about the migraine I had. I kind of logged my migraine. So I got the Excedrin to work, and then I had beer with friends. That's perfect. I mean, how else are you going to learn if you don't make mistakes? Let's see. Work was very challenging, and I'll have to work over the weekend somehow. So when I don't cover the date up, that means I wrote it on this date. So August 24th, Saturday, and here I'm starting to think, do I want to use these pages for dailies? Do I really want to like track things and have actual daily pages? So a funky pre-panic feeling while I was at breakfast. I do have an issue with panic attacks, so I'm glad I note those things. Didn't get my kiddo that night, but I did have a gig at 4:30. And then this is all, again, about my vitamins that I have to take and my medicine for my migraine, the vitamins that I have to take, what I have to get shopping, something that I may have done, dinner and drink with Sherry and Kevin at Molly in the patio, grilled wings and fries, and just a checklist for Sunday, and then my gig. Monday, I'm getting a little bit more into it. So I think I'm trying to do like some journaling type things, some tracking type things. I see that I have this Pebble Change Truth Universe Grateful. I got that from somewhere on YouTube. I believe I got that. And I was trying to write little snippets that align with this. So Pebble, what attracted me? And I will write in here what affected me, sorry. And this is something that affected me. What can be changed? And I don't know if it has to be related or not. I try to keep them separate from each other. So that, what's my mantra under truth, trust and learning under universe, and appreciate and smile under grateful. And then I tried to do it again, and I don't think I was feeling it. So I stopped. I still wrote it small up here, but I definitely didn't do it. And I forget my chiro appointments all the time. My body aches, trying to do tracking from a different direction. Then I thought maybe I should start recording the weather and the air pressure to see if it's related to my headaches. Some little notes about the day. And this is the day I ordered my son's birthday present. Tired and headachy. I may need new computer glasses, but this headache feels veiny, like too much is moving through my veins. So I like to keep these notes, and I'm not going to lie. I like to keep these notes because if anything ever happens to me, I want you to know what was going on, so that if there is like an autopsy, I could be diagnosed, okay? And please let me know what that diagnosis is. Yeah, is anybody else like that? Am I the only crazy person with health anxiety? That's why I write everything down. Welcome to Sure by Dabbles. Crackles and crinkles in my left ear. I'm telling you, I'm paying attention to everything. Sometimes I just get this heightened sense of what the heck is going on. No headache as of 11:30. Energy level is relaxed, not wide awake, not tired. And then I started writing down AccuWeather allergens and some feelings I had. I was sad about the limited time I had with my son. I really wanted to have more time. And I needed to start a no-buy tracker. I clearly was starting to spend money, and I'll tell you what, that did not get better, in case you want to know. So now I'm starting to organize my dailies in a much more set up, organized fashion. I'm creating borders, I'm creating lines, and trying to work with it. Now, I think that I still had my weeklies in mind as I'm doing this, and I was sort of okay with that, but also not. and it changes. So I have my by mouth section here, all my vitamins, my body and mind section here, and then my wallet section here. I kept track of a wish list and tasks that I wanted to tackle and a body check. I also started tracking weather and just to see if there was anything that would relate to how I would feel in my body. And this is more like tasks, questions, things to keep up on, with the biggest ones written at the very top in these check boxes. I carried that over: wish list, body, check-in, weather, a big section, to feel better. Giddy is safe. I wrote that because of panic attacks. If I get too happy or giggly, I get a panic attack. And it's like my brain is like, wait a minute, this is an extreme emotion, so it must be dangerous. And I'm trying to figure out why that is like that. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, so that's the end of the month, but I just wanted to flip through real quick and show you how those dailies progressed. So they started getting very clear, and then I switched again. So there we are. That is my August dailies. I hope you found that interesting. I certainly found this all very interesting. I did really like doing this. I discovered I liked having a daily thing, which made me feel even better about my Sterling ink everyday carry purchase, because it has a lot of notes pages in the back, and the idea of having something daily, or even the little weeks section, I think that's going to be cool. I also have a Hobonichi week, so I'm really interested to see how I'm going to use everything. I am. So let's go check out the other pages. You can see I have a lot going on here. I did skip this one page in the middle. It's before the dailies, and it's after the weeklies, and it's like this random in-between page. And I see a lot of people post on groups, how do you use this? This is what I did. I practiced some brush pen stuff. I didn't do well. I eventually got better. Put some stickers that I didn't think I would use anywhere else that I was always skipping over. So I'm like, I'm going to put them there. Doodling. This is like my mess around page. So you can do that. So at the end, what I have back here is my budgeting page. I will be doing this same page in my Cousin for 2025, and I will do a set up my budgeting page with me video. So be prepared for that sometime in December. And what I do is I put all of the bills I pay each month. I know this from a life of paying bills, all the days that I get paid, and then what the expected amount is going to be. And I organize it by due date according to when I get paid. So then I always know. And I can pretty much account for what those bills are going to be price-wise, given previous bills that I've gotten. And so I will check them off when I've paid it, and I will cross it out when it's come out of my account. So that when I look at my bank account balance, I can tell what still has to come out and do the math. And then I don't find myself in dire straits. And this page is just other bills that I owe or have to pay. At the end pages here, I have not added anything more to this timetable. It's like some video ideas, some journal making ideas. I would love to make my own planners at some point. I think that'd be fun. More brush pen practicing. I think being left-handed added to some of the issues here. Some of them I really liked and was getting the hang of it. I did buy a Fudenosuke, that one that they always talk about. I bought one of those, and I like it. This is my 100. This is one of my most favorite spreads in the Cousin. I write in here every book that I've read, every TV show I have watched, the whole series of. It has to be over and done with to put it in here. I think I still put The Boys in here. I did, even though another season came out, and we did finish that next season, but it doesn't get a second spot. It took up its spot. And I also put the movies that we've watched in here. I'll put a star if I really liked it. I draw this little book icon when it's a book. And I will sometimes write if I watched it with my son or my partner. And sometimes if I'm good enough, I will write down the date as well. So I still have some time, and I'm hoping over the holidays my son will binge watch some things with me. I don't write anything in this interview with myself, but I do have goals to fill up every single page by the end of the year, and I might add some stuff in here before the year is out. We'll find out. This looks like eye test to check your vision. I don't use it. This is an ongoing list of movies that my partner and I wanted to watch. And these are books to watch. So the books that I have read that have movies or TV show counterparts. Some of them I don't want to. For instance, I read Firefly Lane. I loved it. I cried the entire last 100 pages. Then I started the TV show, and it was so different from the book that I just didn't want to watch it anymore. So I didn't. This is where I do my workout tracker. At the beginning of the year, I was tracking yoga and meditation. Purple was when I did both. Then I got COVID, and every time I get sick or ill, it's so much harder to get back. I've been getting better about that. My kiddo was in the hospital recently. This is November, and so I had a week of like kind of catching up after that week of being off, and I have started back up again, but mostly with walking and some workouts, just, you know, going slow. This was a good period of time here. And then I have some doodling stuff here, an idea for a Christmas costume or Halloween costume, gift ideas. Don't tell anybody what I'm thinking of getting them. If you would be so kind, a little more brush pen practice stuff. Like, hello, I was getting there. My gouache swatch page, and then a bunch of junk. So when I was at the hospital with my son, the gift shop actually had these cute sticky notes. The thing is, they don't stick all that great. And I honestly don't know how to use them, but I just, you know, it was retail therapy while I was there. I love these little chickens. I mean, they're so cute, you know, so I really got to use them a little more. This is a page keeper that's made for the cousin, but it's supposed to go in a book cover. I don't have one, so I just duct taped it on there. It works. And when I really want to, I can, you know, put this like so, and then keep it trapped in there. And that's it. That is all I have for you for the August flip through. It's funny. I would say if you were trying to determine if this is how I do my planner, I don't think this would be a good flip through to show that. So it may be a good flip through to show other ways of doing it. And maybe if you're concerned that you don't have the things to make it super pretty or organized or perfect, I hope that this inspires you to do it anyway, because this certainly is not that. And it's still fun, and I still love it. And I appreciate anybody who comes here to look at these things and just wants to play around with paper. So I encourage you to play around with that paper. Let me know if you have any thoughts. Let me know if you have any ideas. I love hearing from you. Comments are always appreciated. And 2025 will be soon upon us. Look at this thick, lovely, lovely dude, huh? Thanks for being here, everybody. Peace out, home skillets.